Let's look at some of the highlights of the OurHealthConnector medical record. You can see that the record is well organized and readable. This patient has received care from many places over the years. Providers have worked in different organizations all over the country and, in fact, all over the world, using different technologies to collect and store the data. Our team at OurHealthConnector collects this data and pulls it all together into this complete record on behalf of the patient. Now, if the record is owned by the patient, how do we know the information is accurate? Well, every finding in this record came from somewhere. To verify for yourself that the information is accurate, with one click, you can see the original document. So we can show much more, though, than just reports. What if you had X-rays or ultrasound or MRI? You can attach the original documents to see the underlying data. Now, the very best way to make sure the information is accurate is to allow everybody to see the same information. So here, the doctor, the patient, the caregiver, everyone's looking at the same record. If someone has a question or wants to correct an error, they can just go right to a finding, and you can see a dialogue, a chat room, conversation is happening between doctor, patient, caregiver for that particular finding. And everything is done in the context of the complete record. Now today, an error in your medical record is usually not discovered, and it's rarely corrected. Another way to view information accurately is to see it from different angles. Here, if we were to look at the patient's record from a problem point of view, you would see subjective information, objective, plan, family history, all swept together in a related area. Now, where does the best information come from? Well, it still comes from the patient. So we use the world's most sophisticated patient interviewing tool. This report, created by a simple interview with the patient, has been proven to be more effective than any handwritten notes by doctors made during a brief office visit. So a lot of people ask, how can my doctor use this system? Well, we've made it as simple as possible and as organized as possible. For example, if you've got multiple findings for a diagnosis or a symptom, or in this case, multiple findings for the weight, we collect them all together, and the individual findings can be found with one click. So here you see, when did that finding occur, how long ago was it, and how old was the patient. And we're using a charting method that exposes trends that are over days or weeks or even decades. Findings that are current are in bold. Findings that are worsening are in red. What if your doctor or hospital wants to get a copy of the record transferred to their system? Well, it's our job to do that in a way that is most convenient for the doctor or the hospital. If they want a beautifully formatted printed record, we provide that. If they want to connect the record electronically, we do that. So some people think that this process might be too expensive. Well, we're doing it. It's not theory. We're managing complex medical records with data coming from around the world. The cost of not having a complete record is much higher than the cost of creating one. Without this record, tests are repeated, errors are made, and communication between the doctor and the patient is very inefficient. So if it takes a lot of work to create this record, let me ask this. Would you want to do this process once, or would you like to try to do it over and over again with each new caregiver? The real question is, can you afford to not do something like this?